What the fuck is up, y'all? It's Crazy McCormick up in this motherfucking bitch here on Juggalo a Day. And this week's topic, well, I'll get to that in a minute. The first thing that I want to get to first is, finally, we have our 6th member of Juggalo a Day, and you will see him on Saturday. So, yes, by the way, I said he. Yes, another fucking piece of meat in this sausage fest that we call Juggalo a Day. 5 guys and Miss Juggalette. So, yeah, we're basically becoming the fucking gonzo porn version of Juggalo collab channels here on YouTube. Nonetheless, not as much as Carnival Spirits, though. Nevertheless, what is this week's topic? We're going to be talking about fucking nerddom. That's right. Nerddom. Nerd shit. Nerd shit, yes. And what is it about us that makes us individually nerds? I mean, we're all fucking nerds here. Nerds, dorks, geeks, whatever the fuck you want to call us. I'm sure that there's a difference between the three. What it is exactly, I don't know off the top of my head. Nevertheless, okay, let's get into some nerd shit, okay? What exactly is it that makes me a fucking nerd? Well, first of all, I will say that ever since, the 1983 video game crash, I have been involving myself into video games. And even in high school, I started boning up on the history of video games. Not for anything in particular, I just wanted to know exactly how, video games started, what came about it, and I learned a lot of shit, and, that was something that was an interest of mine, and as far as I'm concerned, most video gamers are still fucking nerds in their own way. Even the people that I can guarantee you are probably sitting down playing Madden games, NBA games, and fucking Major League Baseball games, all while playing games like Battlefield and Call of Duty and all this other shit, like a lot of sports and first-person shooter games. Yeah, y'all are fucking nerds too, as much as you hate nerds. Yeah, you're playing a video game, you're fucking a nerd, alright? And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But what makes me more nerdier than them, though, is the fact that I do like fantasy games. I like role-playing games. There are a lot of action-based fucking sci-fi type of games like fucking Mega Man. I'm a big fan of Mega Man. If I wasn't wearing the shirt, if I was wearing the shirt, I'd basically be showing it off. But I do have a Mega Man chibi shirt, which is awesome as fuck in my view. I got it at Target. It was $20. Who gives a fuck? But I'm a big fan of gaming. I've been a big fan of gaming, and when it concerns gaming, I actually got my start on the ColecoVision. I was about 2 years old, and I had an old ColecoVision. I have a ColecoVision. It's not the same ColecoVision, but I do have a ColecoVision nevertheless. And the 3 games that I had for the ColecoVision at the time were Ladybug, the Cosmic Avenger, and Donkey Kong. I don't know if you guys were around at the time, but I did actually have a Donkey Kong video game for the Coleco that I made a video of me hooking it up and marking out over the fact that I was playing ColecoVision on a high-def television. And I was geeked the fuck out playing this one game on an HD TV when these are 2 systems that should not be really that compatibly matchable. And I'm sitting there playing a ColecoVision on a widescreen TV. And I was like, this is awesome as fuck. Now how do you jump? I forgot how to fucking jump in that game. I figured it out, though. But, it's been since like 1984 that I started playing video games. And now I'm 33 years old and I've been playing games for over 30 years. Another thing that makes me kind of a nerd, I guess I could say, is the fact that even at the age of 33, I still rather enjoy the old Saturday morning cartoons. Whether it be The Mask, the Ace Ventura cartoon, I do like Powerpuff Girls, I like Thundercats, He-Man, G.I. Joe, the Smurfs, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I fully support all of these older cartoons that I grew up watching. In a way, I am also somewhat of an anime nerd. I am a huge fan of Full Metal Alchemist. I did involve myself into watching Death Note, Yu-Gi-Oh! Not as much as a lot of other people would, and the same thing with Dragon Ball Z. Never really got too much into the Dragon Ball series, but I did like it. Trigun was actually one of the first animes that I got into, and that actually led me into watching Inuyasha, and and also Full Metal Alchemist. Death Note actually was thanks to Child's Play Ninja, and there's a lot of older ones that I really like. And those are usually the ones that most of the time I would prefer to, which, by the way, I will actually say that I am very geeked out about the new Scarlett Johansson Ghost in the Shell movie that's going to be coming out in March of 2017. I saw the advertisement for that and I was like, fucking yes! And I guess you could actually count the Matrix as an anime because of the camera angles, very anime style. The Wachowski brothers did very well on that. I guess you could say it's a trilogy because there's 3 fucking movies, but nevertheless, I did like The Matrix because it had that anime style of camera work. And let's see, but I've also watched a lot of television and stuff like that, and I still pry on some of the older TV shows that were on like back in the day. So I'm kind of a very big nerd when it concerns that stuff. When it concerns like tech type shit and stuff, that is a nerd quality as well. I like knowing about technology and stuff like that. But one of the things that my old man actually taught me was reverse engineering, which is actually how he and I have actually figured out how to fix PlayStations and regular Nintendos, is just by taking the whole damn thing apart, mapping it out, figuring out how it works, what's the important pieces, putting it back together exactly how it was when we first dismantled it, and making it work. And it's because of reverse engineering like that I've actually been able to successfully fix my own PlayStation 3. And currently I'm in the middle of attempting to build another PlayStation 3. I just haven't had the money to get the parts necessary in order to put everything together. Screws. But the PlayStation 3 that I currently have that I will be working on, all it really needs is just a couple of screws to fit everything together. And then it also needs, what else? It also just needs a new Blu-ray driver, which I have. I just need to fit it in, and that'll be the end of that story. So, tech nerd in a way, anime nerd, video game nerd, cartoon nerd, and also YouTuber nerd. You already know the story on that. But the last but not least section, and it's a pretty obvious one, because if you've watched me and you know me, you know that I'm a huge wrestling fan, and I am a very big wrestling nerd. I focus on the storyline, I focus on what's being told, I focus on the wrestling itself, the athleticism behind it, and I also focus on how the bumps are being taken. And it wasn't always like that. I mean, I grew up throughout the Hulkamania era when everybody thought it was real, and come to find out that it wasn't. My little heart was broken, but that didn't stop me from enjoying the storylines. Now it's basically to a point where, yes, I realize that the story is fake. I understand how it works now, and that's what's important to me, is the fact that I understand how professional wrestling works and what it is that they're supposed to do concerning all of that shit. So with that in mind, I'm still a wrestling fan. I've always been a wrestling fan. I will forever be a wrestling fan. No matter how bad Vincent Kennedy McMahon is bound to screw it up, I am still, and always forever will be, a fan of professional wrestling. Doesn't matter what they decide to call the era next week. As far as I'm concerned, I will be a wrestling nerd and fan. But other things of that nature, these are just the things that are on the top of my head. I know I have more nerd qualities than that. Obviously, I'm a fucking juggalo, and on top of that, I guess I could also count the fact that, you know, every once in a while, I do like a good kung fu flick. As far as I'm concerned, like Kiss of the Dragon and, you know, what was it? Enter the Dragon, I liked. You know, Who's the Master, Leroy? Sure enough. You know, so it's shit like that that I actually have a lot of entertaining qualities within them as well. And, oh yeah, my favorite kung fu flick actually was a parody. It was Kung Pao. That was actually my favorite kung fu flick. It was a parody of some other, yeah, that was a parody of another different kung fu flick, which was Crane and Tiger Fists. And he just, you know, Steve Odekirk, the director and star of the movie, ended up just taking excerpts from Crane and Tiger Fists and put himself into that movie, flipped shit around a little bit, and did all of the voice acting, and it was funnier than fuck. But that's all I've got for right now. Tune in tomorrow. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe to me, to Juggalo Day, and everybody else on Juggalo Day. Be prepared for Saturday with the new guy. Peace out.